Hi, I'm Kelley Owen from Wilmette, Illinois. I had a lot of experiences in sort of middle school and high school being bullied. A lot of it was actually became about my appearance later as kids become more creative with their bullying. So that actually did become part of my story during those years. But what immediately became part of why I decided to get the implants was because I had a 6 year period of infertility. So I was really struggling. I had had my first child and was not able to get pregnant with a second child that I really wanted to have for him and just for our family. This period of time was on medications. I was seeing tons of doctors. I was getting all the testing done. And I was finally able to have my two girls. It was actually a single embryo that split. So after these years of trying to resist putting, 3, 4, 5 embryos in, I decided just to do the one. It ended up splitting, had my girls. And so at this point I was 39. So I had finished breastfeeding and I really wanted to do something for myself. And that had just been a nagging thing for me my whole life, that I felt my body would maybe be sort of the way I'd always wanted it to be or envisioned it to be. And this was what I chose to do for myself after those. I had 5 miscarriages, 5 losses, and so this was the thing that I decided I really wanted to do. So after about 9 years, my girls were old enough, sort of more self-sufficient. I had been so busy raising them. I'd been really happy with the implants, actually. And then I started to have a lot of health issues. Things like chronic pain that I couldn't explain. I was getting testing and they couldn't find anything. I was tired, a lot of fatigue. And I remember hearing someone on the radio actually speaking about a removal. And it occurred to me that some of these symptoms I'd had, if not all of them, could be attached to these things that were in my body. After it was almost about a 10-year period that I really realized I needed to talk to somebody about this and see what my options were. So I started looking online to see if other people had had this kind of experience, and I found a lot of resources, one of them being Sarah. She came up in a search. I looked at the website. I immediately felt sort of a sense of calm, that maybe there was somebody who would be able to help me. I found a plastic surgeon, a well-respected plastic surgeon who I had, looked up in my area and spoke to him about it. He has said he's been actually doing increasingly more explants in his practice. And so we spoke about that, what the procedure was, what would happen afterwards, so I knew what to expect. And I wanted to get this done before I spoke to Sarah because I wanted to be in a place where I could really take on what she was giving me to learn and to go through in terms of the detox and everything. And I wanted to be already through the procedure. So I decided to do that first and then reach out to Sarah. After the surgery, I reached out to her almost immediately and got on her program. Interestingly, I did not feel better immediately. I expected to, and I really wanted to, but that wasn't the case. I understood from reading research and looking at things online and speaking to the doctor that I may not feel immediately well, but I had also seen a lot of things on social media where people were saying it was like a night and day difference the day after the surgery. That was not my experience. But speaking to Sarah gave me that sense because she has such an incredible, first of all, just her presence and the way about her and the way she's able to sort of take everything together, put it in this plan and a structure that gave me some hope that I hadn't had previously. And I am someone who works very well in that kind of a structure. I need a plan. And after the years of infertility and the years of advocating for myself and trying to figure everything out on my own, it was such a relief. And it was so anxiety reducing to be able to speak to somebody who could take this all for me. She'd already done all the research, she had all the information, and be able to give it to me in this very structured, very thought out plan. If I were to go back and talk to my pre-implant self, I would still be getting the implants. I believe that at the time, even knowing what I know now and in retrospect, it was something I needed to go through to get to this point. And I always wanted that. I really liked having them. I always sort of wanted them. I enjoyed having them. But now I needed to go through all that to get here. And I don't think I would have been able to do that without going through that experience. At this point, talking to somebody else, it's hard because I think the experience is so individual. But for me, and I think that for a lot of other women that I've spoken with, it is a really important decision to try to go through all these detox things with a feeling that you've done what you can in terms of getting the things out of your body that need to be out. Otherwise, I don't feel that these things can be as effective, because you're not starting from a baseline that will allow you to fully heal and start feeling better. And so, I just feel like this is where I needed to be. This whole journey has been part of that for me. I would say that the things I've been doing differently, or the way my outlook has changed, has been just I'm more hopeful. I'm less anxious all the time. There was so much anxiety leading up to this point, and I will say that all of the doctors and all of the tests and all of the things I had done when these health issues started popping up have not done anything to ease my anxiety the way that Sarah has. I know that I've referred to this before, but just the structure and the plan and the things that she is able to, the knowledge that she's able to impart in the experience has been incredibly helpful to me. And I feel more hopeful. I feel more patient with my kids. I have just a better baseline from which to operate that I did not have before, because probably the anxiety from the health issues and not knowing what to do and not having a plan. And so I am able to play sports differently now than I was, and just things that really are outlets for me that I can enjoy that I didn't before. I think for me, being an Explant Thriver is being somebody who I've always thought I could be, which probably sounds a little bit, Hallmark card or something, but what it means to me is that I am able to find this hope and happiness that was not there for me before. I'm looking to the future differently than I was before. I was so scared. I didn't know what was going on with my body. And to have that feeling that you can't find any reason why something might be happening, and the fear and the anxiety that comes with that, is just to have at least part of that out of my body, starting from a baseline and working with a plan that will allow me to move forward in a way that I always thought I should be moving forward. It just makes me happy. I feel lighter, both literally and, emotionally, and I feel like I'm able to do things in a way and approach things in a way that I hadn't been able to approach them before.